Nerds Talking, the podcast.
Yo, we talk about lightsabers, stunning your TV screens, what you want to stream, everything beyond your dreams. Want to talk about movies, sports, or even politics? Go ahead and tune into us. We'll give you all of it. Whatever you're debating, Xbox or PlayStation, Marvel or DC, Mac or PC. Teraflops when the movie drops, gigabytes, chips, RAM, no matter what it is, we got all of it. Welcome to the show.
Nerds Talking, the podcast.
Welcome to Nerds Talking, the podcast. I'm here with Carlos, Laura, Marie, and I'm Lafayette. Another Friday, another episode. I hope you have yourself a wonderful week so far. Coming out in theaters this week before we start, Alien Romulus. So if you like the Alien movies, there's a new one coming out from the directors of Evil Dead. And they decided we're doing like a horror version of Alien.
Which Evil Dead? Is it the Sam Raimi one?
No, the one that came out like in 2013, like the remake. You recall that one?
Yeah.
Was it 20? Yeah. Maybe like 2015 or something like that. But yep. So it looks good from the previews. So we'll see.
After that last one, I don't know if I can trust it again.
Which last one though?
Not one? Prometheus, the one after
the sequel to Prometheus. What was the sequel's name?
It was so bad.
It was
watching that woman slip in the same puddle of blood 3 times. I was just like, what is going on?
Women are so dumb. I know. It's so funny. I was laughing.
So frustrating.
I yelled at the screen, dumb lady. And everybody agreed.
Everyone was dumb, not just the ladies.
Well, that is true.
Everyone's dumb in that movie.
It's pretty much dumb in those movies altogether. Yeah. But so check that out, Alien Romulus. And if you haven't checked out Trap by M. Night Shyamalan, it's also out there. So those are the movies, I guess, for this weekend. So there you go. And also we had a viewer on YouTube. He
one?
He
just
agreed.
One?
Oh no,
just one viewer.
So he's
our
fan of the week, and he agreed that Deadpool 3 was the best of the 3, and I told him you're the fan of the week. I told him good job, buddy. So
username? Can we call out his username?
Yeah, I don't know. His name is Jason. So
his name is Jason.
Yeah. Shout out to Jason.
He must be an OG YouTuber to already have that name.
He said he's an OG fan of Nerds Talking. So he said he's been a lifelong listener. So lifelong. Damn, he's only like 3 years old. He's a wee baby. And his parents let him watch an R-rated movie. Oh my God. So there you go. So we're going to touch on the Olympics. If anybody has anything to talk about the Olympics, they watched it. And of course, the breakdancing drama that there was with good old Rachel Gunn, a.k.a. Ray Gunn from Australia. Did you guys all watch Ray Gunn perform? Did you guys get to catch that?
Yeah, I saw
did.
It was on.
Yeah. I had to try to find the clips online, which is apparently hard because NBC is severely restricting the sharing, but it's out there. You gotta dig. There's a lot of people just talking about it.
It used to be on YouTube. You could just watch it like live 24/7, like how they have on the channels. But no, I couldn't find anything this year. It was hard. I don't want to have to go searching. I'm like, come on, just give it to me, baby. Like, come on. I have to do this.
There you go. It's because NBC paid $8 billion for the Olympic rights. So you better have Peacock. You better be paying us for Peacock if you want to watch our shit. That's,
paying for all these shitty ads.
Yeah, but Rachel Gunn from Australia, I tell you what, the greatest Olympic performance of all time. Just holy shit, it was so bad. I don't even sure that was breakdancing. I don't know what it was.
She made it breakdancing because she would do like a roll and then stop and then do another roll and then pose.
The posing was the best, like the hand on the chin, like it was like a 80s video, like she was on the front of like a rap CD, like
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
What's so great about it is she was serious. She was dead serious.
Oh, she was so serious. She wasn't
like being, she wasn't being facetious. She wasn't like trolling anyone. She was for reals. And oh my God,
she thought she was killing it. She was killing it.
It's silly.
And it's just outrageous because like just like Carlos, I watched it when it happened and I was like, this is real. Like this is happening. Like
you kind of wonder, like, oh, okay, is this all break? Because I'm not familiar with it, right? So I'm like, is this it?
Is this what breakdancing looks like now? I feel like it wasn't what it used to be.
Like it's evolved or devolved.
Devolved.
The only thing that came to mind was, how did she qualify? Is this the best Australia has to offer?
It is not.
Is this it?
No.
That's the question.
Like, oh man.
Apparently,
we know.
How does one make a governing body? Like, what is the process of doing that? Because it takes a lot of
Okay.
work,
Before
right?
we go, we go into the how and the what, Lafayette, explain what supposedly happened. And I'm just gonna put a thing on that. I'm not 100% sure I believe it because I only saw sources on Twitter that say this. And Twitter makes shit up. Sometimes they're right before like major news outlets. Sometimes they just make shit up. So it could be that it's true or it could be that it's untrue. But go ahead.
Basically, she's kind of the head of the governing body of breaking, whatever you want to call it. And her husband is one of the lead judges on the panel of who decides to go to what?
False. I'm already calling it false.
What's false? What are you talking about?
Her husband's not a judge.
No, he was
He's
a judge.
Coach.
No, he's a coach. He's a coach. Yeah, but he was a judge when they did the judging for who goes through when she was battling to make the qualifications.
That's not true either.
What do you mean it's not true?
That's not true
Fact
either.
checker. Carlos, fact checking.
I did.
Here
There's
we
been
go.
multiple times heard that her husband was on the judging panel for Oceania Champs. And Oceania Champs, she won to get through to qualify to the Olympics. And there's a link here I can send you if you like that shows the judges lineup. He is not a judge, nor was he a judge.
Did she develop
About
this
that.
governing body, however? Because that was one of the accusations. No?
Maybe in Australia, but this competition took place in New Zealand and it was a global thing. It wasn't an Australian thing. And she won. Apparently she won, according to the article I read, is because for some reason she was up against New Zealand. I don't know why she went up against New Zealand. And New Zealand had nobody to go against her. Apparently their best B girls had retired or just weren't competition ready. So they just pulled anybody that was on the crew or whatever up against her. And she lost. Rachel won. The other one lost.
I don't know. I watched that round at the qualifying round.
No. The Oceania thing. Oh, no, I saw it too. I saw that too.
I'm talking about the Olympic qualifying. I'm talking about Oceania stuff. I'm talking about Olympic qualifying where
No.
the other girl was like 10 times better than her. Like it was a joke. And I was like,
Oceania was the Olympic qualifier.
Well, the one I watched the video for the Olympic qualifier, and the other person was first of all, the other person wasn't great, but better than her.
Yeah.
Like way
Molly
better than her.
something. Yeah,
Molly Holly or something like that. Yeah. Like way better than her. I mean, she probably would have got destroyed in the Olympics, and then Ray Gunn was doing the exact same bullshit at the qualifying. And I'm like, oh my God, this is bad. Now go watch her coach, which is their husband. I watched him try to qualify for the Australian. He literally does the same bullshit. They're rolling on the ground and all that like silly shit. We're like, what is this? It's not breakdancing. It's a 5-year-old throwing a tantrum. What's happening right here? But yeah, no, it's no,
according to Newsweek, those claims from social media are absolute nonsense. They're all made up. And I do believe Newsweek over Twitter. However, she did still fucking suck.
Yeah.
There ain't no getting around that.
Well, what's funny is that the quotes that she made were, one second, let me pull them up here. Okay. She said, breaking is clearly athletic. It clearly requires a whole level of dedication across a number of different aspects. It really brings a new level of excitement. So with that, she then goes on to say, some Olympians spend their entire lives training to make history, to carve out a name for themselves. I trained for exactly 37 minutes, and now I'm the most famous breakdancer in the world. My sick moves shut down an entire event. How many Olympians can say that?
I don't believe that's
a good perspective.
I don't believe that's because she claims to have been breakdancing since the age of 8.
There
She's
was a
38.
video that said like, wait, no, never mind.
And she's also got a PhD in like dance culture or some bullshit. And
yeah, she did several articles about breaking, years past.
She claims to be like a master breakdancer. Like she got this shit down, like legitimately.
Well,
It's
she right.
hilarious.
I mean, she did. She's gone down in the history books.
Oh,
I mean, of course,
forever and ever.
the internet, our memory is very short, so we'll probably have all forgotten about her in, a month, but still, props, I guess. Did you guys
Yeah.
see Rachel Drash
I
on
did see it. I
Jimmy
saw
Fallon?
how
That
Jimmy
was pretty
Fallon.
fucking funny.
That was funny. That shit was
I
funny.
love her.
I mean, as bad as it was, when you watch the rest of the competition, which should never be in the Olympics, the other people are doing literally the same moves over and over. They're just
it was
just carbon
boring.
copies. It's very boring.
It was all they were just doing it out of order. They were just doing the same tricks but out of order.
And just different
That's why I got to
order.
give Rachel Gunn credit. She was the only original one there.
She was the only original
one there.
The bad part is, even though there's music in the background, there's no point of having the music. No one's dancing to this music. No one was pop locking or anything like that nature. No one was like actually getting down with the beat. And she looked like, I mean, she just looked like she was retarded.
She looked like her medication ran out.
Yeah.
She was spazzing.
The one with the arm underneath her, that was
so good.
Especially the worst. That's a yoga pose, and it is not a pretty yoga pose.
I mean, you gotta.
Which pose is it?
What did she do?
I don't remember. It's like downward dog, and then
when she did the kangaroo,
but then when she did the straightened boomerang, that's what I call it.
Oh, the boomerang. Oh yeah, the boomerang. And then when she did almost like a Thriller move, when she kind of went up with her arms, and
she could have won the All Valley with that move.
Half her moves would have done something in the All Valley. And then
you know what she really looked like though? Have you ever seen a dog who just goes nuts, runs out in the yard and just starts rolling,
rolls around like crazy?
That's what she looked like.
When she literally was like kind of like looked like she was trying to walk in the air on the ground, like going in a circle like 5 times. Like, what is she doing?
Like Homer Simpson?
Yeah, like Homer Simpson. Yeah. Yeah, what are you doing? And like every time she got up and her round was over, she was like pointing at the opponent, like, gotcha. And I was like, what?
Yeah, right. Then she did that chin thing that Laura's doing.
Yeah, she kept doing the chin thing. Oh, the 80s, like she was doing a photo shoot. Like, yeah.
I did see. Oh, go ahead.
No. I told my buddy Jose, she literally watched a how to breakdance video the day before that she found like a VHS of at the flea market. Just like, you know what? I'm gonna try some of this. And then that's it. And then Tony forgot the whole routine as it started. Ah, shit. I'm gonna wing it. What?
I did see one tweet from somebody who said, we all say that we want to see what a normal person in the Olympics looks like, just to kind of put us up against everyone else so you have a real gauge of how actually talented they are. Wish granted, y'all.
No, and I thought when I saw her finish, I thought, you know what? Because the Paralympics starts in a week or two. And if breaking is in there, she should be able to do that. Just go right there. And she'll probably lose too, but just go. Just do it there. Because I don't know if you guys saw, but after the whole hubbub the next day, she performed that same thing like outside for like the fans. They were all rooting her on.
Yeah.
They're just kind of like, this is a joke, but let's just mess with it. Let's see it again. And she did the same routine. I was like, oh my God, this is so bad. This is so bad. But I'm telling you, there's no way there isn't some type of backstory conspiracy of how her ass got sent to the Olympics.
Well, that's just it. Does Australia not have any more breakdancers? I mean, it's just her.
No, they have a whole female team. There's a female crew supposedly.
Apparently not. Maybe they all got. Maybe their visas got. Maybe their passports weren't up to date.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, when I saw that Holly Molly chick, I was like, what the fuck happened in Australia? Like, did they say, stay home, we'll give you here's
in that video, she's the one in the burgundy jacket, right?
No, I know. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, no, you could tell by the moves. It's exactly the same. She did the snake at one point, like with her hands, and it was just like, what is happening to the Olympics? But I think she also made the Olympics even more like favorable to watch. Like, did I miss something? Like,
the men were impressive.
Yes.
The finals, anyway, not the qualifier, the finals.
No, the men's were impressive. The men were very impressive. But it's just not something for the Olympics. And then,
but that is not. It's not breakdancing. It's not break. I don't know what they're doing. The whole battle thing was just dumb. It's just dumb. Like I was watching some Jabberwocky videos, and if you were to take just one guy from that crew, and he was to do one of his routines, he'd kill it. he'd win every battle. He did, I mean, he'd just kill it. The pop locking, the breaking, and all that stuff. But they try to say it's hip hop, not breaking. I'm like, where do you think hip hop dance came from? It stemmed from breaking.
Where do you think hip hop stemmed from in general? From more or less from like B-boys. Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean,
so
it
was ridiculous. I'm glad it's not in the next Olympics. I'm just glad. I hope it's never in the Olympics again. Whoever won the gold medals or any medals in breaking this year, you are the Gloria Gaynors of breaking. Congratulations. Gloria Gaynor won an Emmy for disco, best disco album. And then after that, disco was never, ever again.
Emmy?
I'm sorry, a Grammy.
Grammy.
Never, ever again in any music awards.
So the other conspiracy was that
she is Gloria Gaynor.
They tried to get ballroom dancing instead of breaking.
That was years ago, though. Years ago.
No, I know, and that they put breaking in to show that people don't necessarily want to see this or that, like almost to prove a point. Like nobody wants this shit. Like, sure, we'll try it once, and then the U.S. got to choose their own sports
because fucking stupid CBS has it all fucking behind a paywall.
CBS, no, you mean NBC?
Whatever.
And it's all over Twitter. You could have saw the whole thing. I mean, it was all over Twitter.
It's not on YouTube. Yeah, I don't want to watch.
It's not like she has a phone. It's not like she has internet on her phone or nothing.
I know.
That's too much work.
Anyway,
what I don't understand is the category. What's musicality? That was one of the things that was judged on: originality, musicality, and then something else. What the hell is musicality?
Because the way that you flow your body to the music, how you make it.
Well, the music was horrible. That's another thing. DJ sucked.
They should have been allowed to choose their own track.
Yeah, that was one of the rules, though. One of the rules is they don't know what the track that's being played.
That's dumb.
But it didn't matter because they weren't actually dancing to the music.
No, they weren't.
They weren't dancing to the music because they didn't know what the music was going to be. So they had a routine.
Because as long as you, it's true too. But as long as you catch a beat, you can do some movements to it. But the problem with all of this style of breaking, it's really just the butterfly movements they do. Okay, get on my hands and spin my legs around. And that's the whole thing. I'm like, that's why it gets boring. Okay. The last guy just did this.
I mean, most sports are boring to watch. Like, does anyone ever watch anything besides Simone Biles or whatever games, right? Does anyone ever watch any of the other Olympic or other gymnastics besides?
I saw Simone's floor routine. Yeah.
Well,
I watched track and field.
And then you watch a little bit of track and field. And then,
I watched a little bit of swimming. I watched basketball.
You only watch the big games or the big events, right? You don't watch like the shooting or the fucking equestrian or the
rest of the internet watched the shooting as
the Turkish guy.
Yeah,
Turkish guy that showed up with no gear, just said, "Give me a gun, I'll get second place." Like everybody else had special glasses and gloves and guns, and he was like, "Nope, just came with my gun from home and let me get second place." And no, here's the thing: if you have Peacock, you could have watched anything anytime you want.
But nobody does. That's what I'm saying. Nobody does.
I do.
You watch
I did, and I deleted it very quickly and unsubscribed because it fucking sucks.
I literally went
ping pong. Ping pong was
exciting. I went through and said, okay, let's watch this.
I don't think people watch it that much.
I watched field hockey. I did see that a little bit.
Dumb.
It is dumb. It is so dumb. I did watch some boxing. Let's see. I watched a little bit of everything.
Fencing.
I did watch fencing too. I watch.
Like, hey, this is nothing like in the movies. This is horrible.
I love fencing. No, I love it.
The Japanese rep though for the men. Oh man, he was aggressive. That guy was aggressive. He won.
I took a fencing class once. I had so much fun. It was like a Groupon thing. It was awesome.
Well, how about the other Olympic controversy?
Breaking. Who's in?
The female boxers.
Oh God, that's so dumb.
Oh, from Algeria.
Everything is so dumb. So dumb.
That is a giant clusterfuck.
Oh yeah,
because
of misogyny,
of a lot of things, like a lot of forces all came together to create this shitstorm
of nothing.
And I feel really bad for those women. Really bad because they are women. If you guys aren't aware, if you have not like looked into it, they are not trans men. Neither of them. They're not.
No, I try to tell people on Twitter they're just ugly women.
No, they're intersex.
Shut the fuck up.
Like,
I swear to God.
They legitimately have
I mean, that's
a
right.
genetic chromosomal difference.
Yes,
And
yes.
They're playing sports. When you play a sports, you're not cute. When out of that, if you're doing an interview, I guarantee they have like their hair done and their makeup done, regular clothes on. When you're playing sports and you're sweating, your hair's all fucked up, of course you're gonna be ugly.
The Asian one looked like a dude. So I don't know.
A lot of female Olympians look like dudes. You know why?
No, this looked like a dude.
They got fucking wide shoulders and biceps because they are
real
working
athletes.
out because they're real athletes. Exactly. A lot
Either
of them
which
look
way.
like dudes. I just feel sorry for them because they got caught up in this giant shitstorm, of just like
nonsense,
culture
fucking
war,
nonsense.
Identity politics, all of this bullshit. They really got caught in the crossfires, and I really feel bad for them.
I just think it's that the boxing lasts 5 days of the whole Olympics, and they just made it like it was like you said. Oh my God, it's the worst thing to ever happen in the Olympics. I said, hey, did you watch Breaking? And like that whole thing was the worst thing that ever happened in the Olympics. So yeah, it was crazy. It was like, who cares? The person won the gold medal and whatever. I mean, here's the thing. The Olympics allow that to happen. And they set the rules and they set who gets to be in it, and that's that. And
so where did people
there was
get that
nothing
from?
wrong with
how did that get started? So there was 2 women boxers and they said that one of them won because she was a dude, but she really wasn't, right? So how did that get started? Because
they legitimately have intersex conditions.
Oh,
well,
it's
also
because they were both disqualified from world championship.
Yeah,
higher levels of
Is it because she's taking testosterone or just
no?
It's because of
they have
their
both
genetic
XY
conditions.
chromosomes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
but like those are conditions. They're like like Klinefelter.
And so as intersex, you can have an XY chromosome and still be a female in every single way.
Correct.
So that's why. So like Carlos said, they weren't allowed to box in the world championships for that reason because they were
both of them or just the one?
Gender test.
Both of them.
They both failed the gender test. Yeah.
And you're talking about the Italian one, right?
No.
That was the one that
Taiwan, I think.
Yeah.
In Taiwan, yeah. And they were
both. If she's from like what's that called, Bangkok? Yeah, I mean that's
Thailand.
the gender
transgender kind of.
It has a different meaning over there. Yeah,
could
I'm
be
with
a
you on that
female.
one. I'm with you on that
female. Yeah. And it's just interesting because do you just go based on the chromosome thing? Because if it is, then you know what I mean. So that's what people are saying.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what?
It
like
is.
I said, Mother
but
Nature.
They're not. That's not what they're
hard.
saying. They're not arguing about intersex.
No. They're
not.
They're not talking about intersex.
Men, trans men don't. Yeah, they don't.
Yeah,
but that's not what this is.
I mean, did you guys watch them box by any chances? I did.
I did watch the Algerian and the round, not the round where the woman
quit after one punch.
Quit. I felt really bad for her.
I didn't feel bad for her one bit.
After one punch.
That's why I didn't feel bad for her.
She was fighting a man, and
she said, "I've never been hit that hard in my life," and she said, "Hell no, I'm not gonna get hit by this person."
Oh, she's a whiny Italian. Italians are whiny, just like Brazilians.
And
first of all, we don't do that. We don't call out people like that.
We don't call out women all the time for being.
We don't. No, we don't call out people by race. All the towns are whiny. We don't say that. That's come on. They are.
You have
said to her coach in
standards.
Italian,
just women, but not racism.
I have morals.
After she got punched, you can hear her say to her coach, "It's not fair. It's not fair."
Right away.
And it's because she bought into all the bullshit, and I don't blame her because it was fucking everywhere. Like I said, this was like a strange confluence of events, and
it was tough.
It's unfortunate to see it unfold.
I watched them both box, and they move and punch and everything like men compared to their opponents. And I was like, yeah, this is a disadvantage to some extent because you guys you can tell 100%. When somebody moves like a male athlete and a female athlete.
That's Mother Nature. I'm sorry.
And they were beating their opponents easily. But here's the thing. In 2020, was it 20? Remember, the Olympics were 1 year off.
2020
so
and 2022.
23, right? Or whatever it was. They moved because of COVID. Whatever it was. Those boxers actually lost. They were in the Olympics.
The men, the trans women?
Yeah, they didn't. They didn't even a medal. You know what I mean? And they came back and they medaled this time. But nobody complained back then, right? Nobody bitched about it. So, fuck it. Next Olympics, call it the Ray Gunn Olympics, and she better be back.
She's judging the whole thing.
She just judges she judges everything.
Every category.
Oh my god, it's hilarious. But I enjoy the Olympics. To me, they're always just a quick 2 week, just whatever, just fun. Like,
is it really only 2 weeks? Because I feel like there's been like so much outrage and
it
outcry. I
is.
feel like it's been
No,
going on for a month.
It's only 2 weeks. I know it's the crazy thing. Olympics are only 2 weeks long. Yeah.
Is it over now?
It is over. The closing
Thank
ceremonies
God.
happen. Yep. And now the opening ceremonies are for the Paralympics are coming up. So, and I must admit,
I wonder what.
I never watched the
what
Paralympics.
controversy they're going to start with.
I know. Remember, because this Olympics started with the Last Supper.
Yeah.
Everybody complained about it, and then the closing ceremony, people complained about the closing ceremony too.
What about the What about the Last Supper?
It was part of the opening ceremony. People complained.
It wasn't. Do your research. It wasn't.
I have.
I know it's not the Last
Okay,
Supper.
Someone tell me.
The artist. No, the artist or the
Uh-huh.
performance guy or whoever it was,
the blue guy,
said no, that was just an actor. The person who like put it all together said that yes, it was. It was inspired by the Last Supper and Bacchanalia. It was a confluence of a lot of different.
What were they doing? Dance or something?
No,
it was a naked blue guy.
But he was like was he a Greek god or something like that? He was like
Dionysus, I think.
Yeah, it wasn't like the Last Supper in the sense of Jesus and his disciples.
Festival to Dionysus is what it was.
Yeah, exactly. It was just the layout was of the Last Supper, but it wasn't the Last Supper. But people were just, oh my God, this is outrageous.
They're mad about everything all the time.
Brick. I just don't understand. Like, why do you care the next day? It's over. Who cares? It was like who gives a shit? And then they did the same thing with the closing ceremony. They bitched about that too. Some gold god was followed by some silver angel, and oh my God, that's Revelations or some bullshit. I'm like, oh my God, it isn't that serious. Isn't that serious? I want the US to just be like, hey everybody, this is the Olympics. All right, like do a stand-up bit. Have somebody come out and just do stand-up bit. The opening act is actually entertaining. Here's John.
I feel like
Mulaney.
we'll be the worst. We'll be the worst complainers, though. I don't even know. They're the what do you call those? Evangelists or whatever.
Yeah,
evangelists.
Yeah, they're gonna complain about everything. They'll make everything about themselves.
But Tom Cruise,
everything is satanic. Everything.
You guys saw that Tom Cruise was the end of the closing ceremony.
What did he do? Mission
Tom
Impossible.
Cruise. He was given a flag, an Olympic flag. He put it on his motorcycle and drove out of the stadium. And then he drove through the streets of Paris, jumped out of an airplane, landed in California, in Hollywood, then gave the flag to a mountain bike person who rode all the way down to Venice Beach, and then on stage with the Red Hot Chili Peppers performing.
I literally had to look it up because I thought you were bullshitting me, and that is 100% true.
He jumped off the top of the stadium in Paris.
Fuck?
Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
he jumped off the stadium in Paris
to get down right to his motorcycle, right? Yeah.
And no, he jumped off, landed on the ground. He had a harness, but he hit the ground, and then he walked to the stage, grabbed the flag, kind of like the passing of the baton, grabbed the flag, and then the rest.
Yep. And then the Chili Peppers performed, and then Billie Eilish performed, and Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre performed, and like all these like acts from California and LA performed, and then
pre-recorded.
It was all pre-taped. Yeah, all of it was pre-taped, of course. And it was quite fun to watch.
We're having a weird time. Like I literally did not believe you when you said Tom Cruise did a Mission Impossible jump.
He did a Mission Impossible Olympics.
But here it is. I'm watching it right now on
so
YouTube.
It's quite. It was interesting. So yeah, so Olympics. Like I said, they always bring something. They're always fun. So there you go.
What was more offensive to me during the opening ceremony was that Lady Gaga performed. Why don't you have French performance? But why don't you have French performers?
Because they got Celine Dion and she's Canadian.
Olympics.
Well, Celine Dion's French Canadian or something, or she's French.
At least she sang in French.
Wait, what did Lady Gaga perform? I didn't watch the opening ceremony. I just heard the bitch uproar about it.
I didn't have the volume on, but she was performing.
Okay. Oh, okay. I know she was there because she was at quite a few events watching. So, and Tom Cruise was also at quite a few events the whole time.
So was Ariana Grande. Adriana.
He's so handsome. He's so old, but he's still so handsome.
He's got a tooth in the middle of his face like
he
this.
Does. I know.
When you see it, you can't unsee it.
You can't unsee it. I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't care. He's adorable.
It's just
he tried to fix it with braces. It didn't work.
Okay. Well,
you can't move your jaw. You can't move your median byline.
Can't move
of
your
teeth.
Yeah, no.
Oh wait, so it wasn't his teeth. It was his. I don't. Okay.
No, I mean it is his teeth, but like also it's just it's not that his teeth are crooked. Is that they literally
Or
just
this way.
imagine your whole mouth is that way. Like you just can't. It's the socket. Everything you can't move the fucking socket of your tooth. It is where it is.
Welcome to
You try
Orthodontist
braces.
Talking. Yeah. Orthodontist Talking with Laura. So,
I
all right.
love
Well, guess what? We'll take a break here on Nerds Talking the Podcast. We'll be right back after this.
Woohoo! Well, hello there, buckaroos. This your good old pal, Western Wally the Cowboy. I'm here to tell you about the most rootin' tootin' rodeo show podcast. And about dirty whores on the back of motorcycles. I don't think we got that now, partner. I don't know where you got that information from. I got that from your mother last night when I was banging her during our podcast. Well, partner, that's no way to talk about my mother. You know she's a fine lady. Ain't that right? She knows how to book my Bronco, that's for sure. She can tie me up. Well, you wait right there, partner. You know I'm pretty good with a pistol if you keep running that mouth. Your mother knows how to run her mouth with my pistol in it, if you know what I mean. You can hear all that and more on me podcast. Well, you wait one cotton picking minute, mister. This is my show, my podcast, and what are you even doing here? I'm here to tell you about Nurse Talking the podcast. Every Friday where your podcasts are found. Fine gentlemen, good lads. You're right about that. That's a fantastic show, Nurse Talking the podcast. I say you should listen every time, every Friday, any chance you get. Also, I bang your mother any chance I get. Oh boy, that's about it. I've had enough of you. Now back to the show and his mum.
Welcome back to Nerds Talking the Podcast. I'm here with Marie, Laura, Carlos, and I'm Lafayette. Remember to rate, subscribe, review, turn on notifications, tell your friends every Friday, new episodes of Nerds Talking the Podcast, and on YouTube, just look up Nerds Talking, and you'll get to watch our show and our lovely faces. So, we did something a little bit different this week. We usually review something all together. Well, this week we're going to review our own things separately. Nobody knows what or who or like what we're going to talk about. It's going to be very interesting. We're going to start with Marie because I would love to know what she watched or maybe listened to or maybe a video game she played that she's going to review for us this week. Marie, take it away.
Oh, I'm starting first. Okay, so I've been playing again Red Dead Redemption 2. So that's what I'm going to review. It's not new, but it's my favorite video game of all time right now. I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with Grand Theft Auto, GTA, the GTA game series. It's kind of like that, but in 1899, and it's more serious. It's a really good game. It's very, very long. I've spent probably 1,000 hours on it, and I give it a 5. No, more like a 4.75 out of 5 because it's got a lot of flaws. So yeah, I will. That's me.
Like flaws in the gameplay.
Yeah, what are the flaws? Yeah.
Like okay, so the wanted system, the cop system, it sucks, and that's not necessarily it's not like a glitch in the game. It's a flaw that Rockstar did. Like, why did they have to do it like that? You can accidentally get on the wrong horse and all of a sudden the cops are on you. If you die, your wanted level doesn't go away. If you run into someone, the cops can come. It's like if you do anything, the cops are gonna come. It's so irritating. It's but then there are kind of glitches that especially since I'm playing it on PS5, sometimes I have to close the game and then turn it on for it to work again. I'm trying to rob 5 trains, but I had to quit the game and then restart it in order for it to do the thing that I wanted it to do. So just like kind of dumb shit like that. So, and I recently played Elden Ring last spring, and it kind of changed my life in terms of like technique and talent and skill in video games. That game is hella hard, but still Red Dead Redemption is my favorite. I think it's because it's very American. You get to shoot everything and shoot animals and hunt. And you have to be an outlaw and eat some fucking salted beef and salted meats or whatever and some wolf hearts and shit.
What's the main character's name again?
Arthur Morgan.
Arthur Morgan. I was sad when Arthur shot his horse.
Wait, who? What?
And when Arthur died on the hillside.
You're not supposed to give it away.
Sad.
Well, the game's pretty.
5-year-old
the game's been
game.
out for like 5 years. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
It is, but it is a 5 for me. 5 out of 5. That game is amazing.
He died of tuberculosis.
Amazing game.
How very
Arthur.
time period appropriate.
Yeah, it has a great story.
It's
and
really
it's a prequel.
Yeah, and that's what I love about it because it's so. How did they plan that? Did they know that was going to happen, or did they just do it? I don't know. Because the first character you play as John, and then the second character. He plays Arthur Morgan, but it's the prequel to what happens to John. And then so John, has a sad story too, but then Arthur Morgan's is like hella way more sadder. And what was it? Oh, the saddest part of the game, I think, to me is when there's two sad parts, like the really sad parts. One, when he goes to the doctors and they tell him he's got tuberculosis. That part's hella like heartbreaking. And then the part where he's sitting with the nun in the train station and he's like trying to accept the fact that he's gonna die and he might be a terrible person. Like those two parts are just, oh god, they get you. They pull on your heartstrings.
If you've never played it, first of all, where you been? But Red Dead Redemption 2 is amazing. I mean, it's like, yeah, if you own some type of console system, you gotta play it. Like, you're not a gamer if you haven't played Red Dead Redemption 2. Okay, well, there you go, Marie.
My favorite part is when you build your own bar.
What? What are you talking about?
And then you go with your friends, you get drunk, you start slapping each other. You
build your own bar?
Yeah, and you pour your own liquor. Yeah.
What are you talking about? Yeah. I think you're talking about a different game.
Red Dead Redemption 2, you can build your own bar in the basement of the the guy who sells moonshine.
Remember though, that's online though. Not story mode.
See, I've never.
That's online.
I didn't play it online. I only played story mode.
Yeah. Online, you could do a ton of stuff.
I tried to play online one time, and I thought I had turned off the thing where other people can attack you. And I got a panther over in the Lemoyne area, and someone shot me right there and fucking took my shit. And I was like, first of all, I think the panther would be hella hard to get. And then someone just fucking shot me, and I was like, I thought I turned this shit off. I don't know. That shit made me so mad.
Marie, it's the wild, wild west, Marie. Watch your back.
Give a fuck.
Welcome to the real world. The internet was as close as it got to the wild, wild west. Not anymore, but it used to be.
Have you played it, Laura?
How we used to, well, Carlos and myself and my other brother and whoever else, we'd posse up every time for that reason. You don't know who's watching, who's going to try to get you.
I don't have
then get
brothers.
a posse.
You find your friends.
Get a posse.
Or you join one. They're open.
You join a posse.
Posses are open. Posses. You just join one.
I just wanted to learn how to play it so I could keep playing it. And like, in 5 minutes, I was already like dead. So I didn't want to do it anymore. I don't know how to posse.
Online is the best. Online is the best.
Everyone likes GTA 5 online though, right?
It's the same, but it's the same. They have storylines just like GTA 5. You can continue playing storylines and all that. Yeah. I mean, but yeah, no, open posses. You can join open posses.
World.
Yeah. That's the best thing about that game. It's an open world. You can do whatever the hell you want in that game.
The only MMO that I've played that I was like, I didn't really like it that much was Final Fantasy 14. And
I stopped playing those a long time ago.
It was kind of lame.
Well, there you go. We got a 4.7 out of 5.
Only because of the flaws.
Because of the flaws.
Otherwise, it's great.
And one flaw sounds like it's not the game's problem, it's the PS5's problem. But hey, it's what it is.
No, there are other flaws though.
Okay. There you go. So if you haven't played it, I'm pretty sure you have. But if you haven't, Red Dead Redemption 2.
And GTA 6 is coming out next year.
It is coming out next year. It'll be the biggest game next year for sure. Yes. All right, Carlos, what do you have for us this week for your review?
I watched A Quiet Place Day 1.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, when it first started, I was like, oh man, how's this gonna go? But it's not very long. It's only an hour and a half. It's PG-13. I kind of wish they went with an R rating, but then it really wasn't necessary because there's no real dialogue, and R rating is usually based off language and violence. So there wasn't really much dialogue, and of course they have to stay quiet so they don't get killed. So, but it's actually a little heartfelt story. It's actually pretty cool. You got Sam, who's dying of cancer.
And who's that? Which actor?
Lupita Nyong'o.
Lupita Nyong'o.
Yep.
Let me get back. So Lupita plays Sam. Joseph Quinn plays Eric. And Sam's got a cat. So you probably like it because it's a cat.
That's what I said. I wanted to see it because they have the kitty.
But so she's in a hospice home, and they decided to take a busload of these people to see a show in the city in New York. And she hasn't been in the city in a long time, so she wants pizza. She really wants pizza. And they promise her pizza, but then the attack happens during the show.
Like a Broadway
Apparently,
show.
yeah. Well, they thought it was going to be that, but it turned out to be like a marionette show. But the attack happens, and it's basically if you look in the sky, it's like a meteor shower, but all these meteors are actually aliens, these whatever they are, these creatures. And anyway, so the attack happens, and then she has to try to survive, and they try to get her back to the hospice home, but she really wants pizza. Even after the attack, she really wants pizza.
Yep.
And then she runs into Eric, played by Joseph Quinn, and he starts following her, and he helps her get back home to her apartment.
In the hospice care?
Huh?
In the hospice place.
No. She still has her apartment in New York.
Oh, okay.
She just hasn't been there because she was living in the hospice home. And the cat's a survivor, tell you what. And anyway, so Eric finds out she has cancer. He helps her get some meds. Finds out the backstory about her dad and the place where he used to play jazz. And anyway, so they make their way to the pizza place. Pizza place is burned down. So they go to the jazz club next door where her dad used to play. They hang there for a while. He goes out, he finds her a pizza. They have pizza. And what's funny is that I was thinking this to myself, man, I really hope when she eats this pizza, she's like, oh, this is shit. I can't believe I risked myself for that. And then when he did bring the pizza, she took a bite of it. She was like, it's not as good as I thought it was going to be. But it was, like I said, it was a good little heartfelt story. He helped her as far as he could. He knowing that she had cancer and she wasn't going to make it out of there, even if they, escaped. So in the end, she gave him her cat. It's a quiet cat, not one meow or anything, but there was a couple of flaws in the movie because these creatures have like this super hearing, right? Because in one scene, one guy, all he does is tear his shirt. All of a sudden, he gets eaten by one of these things. I'm like, oh, he just tore his shirt? Is it? So I'm thinking, then why can't they hear the cat purr?
Was the cat purring?
Yeah. And then there was another scene where
you can't tell the kitty.
This huge creature like goes by Joseph Quinn. He's trying to stay really quiet. And I'm thinking, if your hearing's that good, don't blink. They'll hear your eyelids, right? Or your breathing or whatever.
Hear your blood flowing.
Right, exactly. Your heart pumping, because he would have panic attacks. Eric would have panic attacks. And if you could hear that well, then because they made a point of showing like the inner ear of this stupid creature, like all these things pulsing and all these like, hey, they have supersonic hearing.
Well, they do that in the first one too.
Hyper hearing. What's that?
They do that in the first one.
Right. So anyway, so she gives him the cat. The cat almost drowns for the second time. But they make it out alive. She stays behind. She makes enough noise and racket to make the creatures chase her. Then it shows her walking down the street at the end, listening to a boombox with headphones on because she wants to stay quiet. But then she knows the end is near because she has cancer. So she unplugs the boombox and just stands there in the street. And one of the creatures lands behind her, fades to black. And that's it. It's a good movie for an hour and a half. I like the story. I like how he helped her. They kind of helped each other because he was having panic attacks and she was clearly dying and she just wanted one last wish, was her pizza. And I thought for sure she was going to stay where her dad performed because her dad also died of cancer. Where her dad performed jazz, I thought she was just going to stay there until she passed away, but she just walked down the middle of the street because she missed the city. Even though she hated the city, she missed the city. But anyway, I'd give it a watch. I'd give it a 3.5 out of 5. Quiet Place, day one.
Well, there you go. Yeah, I saw it too. Pretty good movie.
Oh, but they did answer one question I had right from the beginning. Was like, can these things swim? And they cannot swim.
Oh yeah, that's their kryptonite. Yeah,
that's their
water or just swimming.
Swimming.
Water and
it's not like science.
Yeah, it's no. It's swimming. Yeah, they drown real fast. They can't swim for shit. Yeah. But yeah, it was good. It was a good movie. It's hard with those movies because it's like, yeah, that's that person's story. Is there more of these stories to tell? Because we don't, even in The Quiet Place Part 2, there's no there's no solving anything. Nothing gets actually resolved. Those creatures are still.
But didn't
Well,
they
I mean, that's the
resolve
whole
that in
point,
part
right?
one? Didn't they
No, because
show their weakness?
they found out their weakness, but they weren't. There's a lot of animals or creatures or aliens or thingies that you have to kill. Like a world's full of them.
Well, that's true because in
Brittany?
this one they actually showed they had eggs. There was eggs of these things, so they are breeding quickly.
And that's
Ew.
not what the story is
lice.
about. I've never seen any of it, but it sounds to me like it's not a story about how to beat the thing. The story
No,
is
they're
about
not. It's
humans.
about survival. It's all
Yeah,
about,
it's about humans and what we
Exactly.
do to survive.
Ew.
Yeah,
Why
yeah. Well,
ew?
there you go.
That's
The best
Quiet
story
Place.
there is to tell.
Why?
3.5
survive?
out of
Why?
5. You won't survive. Believe me.
No, I mean, I know I won't. I know
we're
I won't.
built
But
to
like,
survive.
I'm just like, why do we need to survive? If something happens like that, just
'Cause we're built
evolve
for it.
out. Just evolve out.
But
Get out.
no, you don't evolve
Wow.
out. You
Who wants to live?
evolve
Who
by
wants to live like
surviving.
that?
I'm not saying there were a lot
You
of
live
there
like
are
that
a lot
now,
of people.
Marie.
I'm not in love with
Shit.
life. I'm
There
not,
But I think
are
she's
a
trying to-
lot of
I think she's
people
trying to
who
evolve out,
will
too.
die.
kind of.
I just read. You know what? I'm gonna change what I was gonna review.
Whoa, whoa,
We're
whoa,
gonna
whoa.
launch into mine.
Oh shit!
Whoa, we are going to yours. We are going to
Oh,
yours.
wow.
Laura, you're up.
I
Wait,
was
wait.
watching Psych.
Mhm.
Old show
Okay, yes,
from the
yes,
2000s.
of
I'm like,
course.
this
Which one
is
is
the
that?
That's
delight.
the guy that looks like Bean, but he's not Bean. He's like a little short and he has OCD, right?
Wrong
Wait,
guy.
no.
That's
No.
wrong one.
Oh,
That's
That's
Monk.
wrong show.
oh, okay.
That's Monk, yeah.
This is Psych. But I'm not going to review that anymore because this has inspired me. I'm going to review the book that I just read.
Ooh.
Oh, the Bible.
No.
Evolve out. Evolve out.
No, that was
Drop
everyone
in.
at the Olympics read the Bible.
Alive, which is the story of the Andes flight
Wait,
survivors.
that's that they made a movie on. Yes.
They in the 90s, and I watched that movie and it's kind of
Did
shit.
you-
I mean,
did
They
you also watch
remade
the-
one for Netflix.
They remade it. Yeah,
Just
did
came
you
out this
watch
year.
it?
I need to watch it. It's called Society of the Snow, and I want to watch
that
it. I
one's
think
a
it's
TV
subtitled.
show.
Okay, so
right?
what happens? It's a
Yeah.
true story.
Do you not know the story?
I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
it's a
Was it a
it's
rugby
team
team?
of rugby players in the 1970s that were Argentinian, and their plane crashed in the Andes in the middle of winter, and many of them survived the crash. And it's the story of how many of them survived, many of them didn't, and what that entailed. And
How long were they out there in the wilderness or snowiness?
like 90 days.
Ugh. Yeah, I would have died immediately.
They died. The only reason they didn't die was because they
They were eating each other.
ate each other. Exactly. They ate the people who had already died. There was the plane crash itself that killed plenty of people, and then there was an avalanche a few weeks or a month or so after they had crashed that killed another large swath of them. So that's how they survived. And the book is very compelling. The movie, the 90s movie, I don't know that I would recommend it, but I really want to watch the Netflix series. But the book is just so interesting because it is all about human beings. I mean, that this is how we evolved from fucking apes that could just manage to sit up to where we are now. Our drive to survive is hard coded into who we are.
Why?
Just the ability. I mean, that's the fate of all life. That is what we do, and because there's nothing else.
Maybe the long sleep is good though. I don't know. Again, like I'm just not that in love with life. There was a point in time a few years ago
I'm
where
not
I
either.
wanted
Don't get me wrong.
to unalive myself. So I'm just like,
Don't
and I've
get me
never
wrong.
really gotten over that.
Definitely been there. Like bliss, whether that's ignorant bliss and oblivion, or if that's whatever a potential next life can be. I don't know what that is, but I've definitely felt the call of that as well. But when push comes to shove, your higher brain doesn't really make those decisions. Like it's a base instinct, it's a survival instinct that will continue. I mean, it always comes back to me about like when I had both my kids as infants, because they sucked so bad. And I was like, how has the human race continued? This is so hard, and you are so awful And this is terrible. And it's just because it's just what we're coded to do. We're coded to survive.
In some of these video games that I play, they always talk about like what in Red Dead Redemption 2, Sadie Adler says, I would rather be doing this, which is like bounty hunting, than be in the ground. I'm like, why? Why I would rather like, and I'm not saying that that's not wrong, because yeah, if I were to like say something now because I'm medicated, right? Like I would be like, oh, I don't necessarily want to die, maybe tomorrow, right? But it's just why does the brain work like that? Is that evolution? Is that survival? Is that fear?
Alive.
No, it's 100%. It's evolution. Because the people who have had the drive to survive are your great ancestors. Like that, those are genetics that you have inherited.
Oh yeah, I mean, I guess it makes sense.
If you survived the plane crash, like the people that did, you would want to be alive.
Well,
you're almost thankful, okay? And then you're gonna want to survive.
What if
I would eat any of you guys if you died? No question. No, I would not. I would have zero moral qualms about it. I would not kill you to eat you. But if you're dead,
who would you eat first?
Anybody. It really doesn't matter.
Marie,
who's closest to me?
Unlife herself.
No, I'm thinking if all three of us died at the same time and Laura had to eat one of us in order to survive, which one would she eat first?
I don't think it matters.
No, it doesn't matter. It's literally who's ever physically closest.
Who's got the most meat on him?
You know what? Who ate the most salt or sugar?
I ate the most
salt. Might taste a little more flavorful. So, yeah,
it was a fascinating book, like all about like, you know, their moral qualms. They were very Catholic, very religious, and like how they got beyond it, and then like later, because I mean, like I said, it went on for months, and like how they were just so striving for new tastes, because again, that's another like evolutionary thing. Like you can't really eat the same thing all the time. Like even if they're eating like just meat, like they wanted new taste. And so they would start to eat like
they weren't New Zealand and Australia, and they wanted Japanese and Mexican.
Well, the prehistoric version of that, which is, well, let's try some lungs and then let's try brains and all these different kinds of things, because the snow kept everything very fresh. And it was fascinating.
Okay, I have many questions. Okay, first of all, so what the stories, was it like a made up story, or did they do interviews of the people that survived and they asked them how to write the book?
Interviews.
Okay, and then what did they say what their favorite parts were?
No.
The thigh or the wing?
Because they started with the butt, which makes sense.
Oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
You know, the gluteus is
the bacon. It's the bacon.
It's the largest muscle. And so that's where they started. But I mean, by the end, they were doing all kinds of different stuff.
I think I would eat tongue first, maybe. I mean, I don't really like lingua, but it would make sense, right?
Lingua's good, man.
Tongue would be a good one.
When you first watched the movie, though, you're like, oh man, this must have been just the worst thing, because they're basically, like you said, they're going to the butt first.
Wait a second. I have a question. Okay, would you rather have to eat another human or drink your own pee like that guy did in 128 days? Or 128 hours?
Eat dead, already dead, naturally dead, not by my hand humans. 100%. I'd rather do that than drink my own pee.
I agree.
I would do both. I would do both.
Matter of fact,
you wash it down with your own pee. That's what you're doing.
That's what I mean. You guys want some, or what's the deal here?
In the snow, you don't have to. You just smell it.
So you read the book.
This is true.
Mm-hmm.
And you saw the movie. Of course, we all did years ago.
Yeah.
So what's your review of the book? Like, what would you tell people to read it? Tell them not to read it?
5 out of 5. Fantastic.
Whoa, 5 out of 5 for Alive.
This is a 5 out of 5 review show.
For one, Marie, don't unlife yourself. 2,
don't tell me what to do.
Plus, we're not going to eat you. We're not going to eat you.
That's good.
2,
I think my cats might.
Would anybody here actually do that? Would you actually eat a human to stay alive?
Yes. I thought you might crash a plane.
Without question.
Is it
without
cooked?
question? No.
I don't know how they did it. Was like
raw.
Beef jerky?
It was raw. They ate it raw.
I don't even like chicken, so
I couldn't do that. It'd be too gummy. I'm like, I can't eat this.
Yeah, it was very. There were
I'd
several.
probably find a way to unalive myself there.
There were a few people who really like they did it, but only enough to like stay alive, and they were in much worse shape than some of the others, because they would only eat like a tiny bit every few days.
Everyone else was partying up. It's like the last meal.
My
The
question for
people
you
who
is,
climbed out, they literally climbed out of the
Yeah, yeah.
Andes and came down. I mean, they knew
They were-
exactly what
they
they were
had
gearing
full
up for,
bellies.
The Andes
and
are in
they were
Peru, right?
fucking eating.
so
Now, how were they
my,
found? Who rescued them? How were they rescued?
Yeah, who rescued them?
They were
Yeah.
rescued because two of them hiked out of the Andes Mountains with
And
no
found a village,
equipment, no
right?
nothing, and went down the mountain to a village. It took them, I think, like 9 days to make that hike.
Jeez, how many humans did they take with them?
They took two or three socks full of human flesh. That's what their provisions
90
were.
days. And so it took them 90 days to
Oh,
gather
no,
up
no,
the-
no,
9
no,
days.
no, no.
9 days.
Oh,
Nine days,
9
but they were up there for the no. That's how long it took them to hike out. But they were there for like 60, 70 days. I don't remember.
So
I don't
why
have the
did they
copy of my
decide?
book.
Why did it take them so long to decide to do that?
It was the dead of winter.
Oh, so they're waiting
Yeah,
for
that's right.
spring.
It was, yeah.
They were waiting for rescue. They were thinking that rescue could come. I mean, they tried several times to hike out of the valley because they were in the middle of two giant mountains.
Mm-hmm.
And so several times they had tried to make expeditions to go up and out. And in the middle of the snow, they only went like a half mile or something, like before they were about ready, like dead tired, like snow up to your waist. Like they just couldn't get anywhere. So they had to wait until spring came.
How big was it? How many people were there?
The plane itself, I think, had like 30 or 40 people. I think in the end, 15, somewhere around 15 or so people were rescued.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, because how many initially survived the crash, if you recall?
A larger amount. I think like only 5 or 6 died in the crash.
Oh my God.
And then,
okay.
Yeah,
so
so there were a lot of people. And then several of them died from injuries later on. Like a couple had broken femurs and different things like that. So they died like a month on. And then a bunch of people, I think, I got like 7 or so were killed by an avalanche. Midway through their time there. So
I think that would be one of
camping
the
in
worst ways to die.
And then the avalanche came and covered them all up. And, people tried to take out who they could, but, several of them had died.
Well, there you go. Everybody check out the book Alive and the TV show also. I think is that an Amazon show or
I think
Hulu?
it's a Netflix.
It's a Netflix show? Okay. And also the
Society
movie.
of Snow.
Society of Snow. There you go. And the movie called Alive.
Yeah, skip that one.
Skip that one. Laura says, boo, that's like a 2 out of 5. The book's a perfect 5.
Mm-hmm.
So check that out. I watched a movie called Fly Me to the Moon.
You didn't even watch the movie you told the rest of us to watch.
Oh, what movie did I tell you to watch?
Horizons.
No.
And I was like, you got to give me more than a day's notice to watch the 3-hour movie.
I watched Fly Me to the Moon starring Channing Tatum and Scarlett Johansson.
It better have been shit, because it was either that or Long Legs. So this better have been a shit movie.
It's the movie about how a marketing person gets hired by NASA to market the Apollo 11 mission, and she markets the shit out of it. She gets all of America interested in NASA. She gets all the astronauts.
Or made up.
Well, it's based on.
It's another one of
something.
those. Okay, got it.
So basically, she gets NASA to market watches, Corvettes, all this stuff. Like she turns into a whole marketing, and it's hugely successful. And then Woody Harrelson's secret ass says you also have to hire a director and also make up the moon landing, and you have to film it, yada yada yada, because if we can't actually televise the moon landing because of technology, we need to show it on TV. And then she's like, I ain't doing that shit, because what if they don't actually land on the moon? What if we don't know they land on the moon? So, long story short, they use the actual footage because a cat runs onto the set while they're trying to film the other one live, and they couldn't use it. And that's what happens there. It's a fun movie. They throw in like a romantic twist they didn't need to with Channing Tatum and Scarlett Johansson. But in reality, it was actually a male that they hired for the marketing.
Of course it was.
And he actually just joined the marketing team that already existed, but he's the one that had all the ideas. And there was no fake moon landing filming. It was just he was there to market the NASA to the public to try to make it more appealing. so that the government would give them more money. Because if they made NASA popular, the government would fund them more and give them more money. And that's really what the movie's about also, about how she gets NASA to be popular amongst young people and blah, blah, blah. And then the government's like, oh, we got to give them more money because they've now got all this attention. So that's what it's really about in the end. So it's a marketing movie, really, in the end. It's about how they marketed NASA. So the people got tricked by the commercials, thinking that, oh, it's about how they faked the moon landing. No, it's really about how they marketed NASA and made it more of a global thing through marketing. And that's what the movie's about. And I'd give like a 3.5 out of 5. You know, because it's an interesting movie because of the whole marketing aspect of it. But you do get thrown off because that portion of the fake moon landing is only 20 minutes of the movie. It's not like they start from the beginning. Okay, we're gonna fake this moon landing. Let's start. No. That doesn't even come into play in the movie. And then you come to find out when you come to find the real story, it kind of ruins the movie, like always, right? Because the movie is that Scarlett Johansson's character is more like she's a con artist. She's not really a marketing person, that. She cons her way into everything she does, anything in life. That's how they play it.
I mean, that's most marketers.
Right. Well, yeah, right.
As a marketer.
Yeah. And then, but the true story, again, is just, it's based on an actual person that was the lead of marketing for NASA. Other characters are real in the movie, but they're not portrayed, in their real life, of course, aspect.
Kind of like a Flaming Hot Cheetos based on us.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Similar to something like that. Exactly. But the biggest problem with this movie is they try to fool the public to thinking this is probably what really happened. They probably just filmed the whole thing. And yeah, so, that was their selling. But it's going to be on Apple TV soon. I didn't know it was an Apple TV movie. So you should be able to watch an Apple TV. Well, like I said, 3.5 out of 5. Channing Tatum's pretty good in it. Scarlett Johansson, I mean, she's a good actress, But again, it's not like, oh my God, if you don't see it, you miss something. If you don't watch it, whatever. Watch Long Legs, right, Carlos? And then
go to hell.
And then yeah. So I also got my hands on Twisters. I didn't see that one yet though. So yeah, there's that, and yeah. So there you go. Fly Me to the Moon. So we got 2 movie reviews, a video game from 5 years ago, and a book from 20 years ago or 30 years ago. Pretty old.
Longer.
I know. I'm saying well, that's when I give people freedom. I don't ring them, just, yeah. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry that Red Dead is so good. You could play it for 5 years.
Where did you go?
I'm sorry, Alive is so good that it's historical and you can.
Like how the cat's talking.
Yeah, the cat is Marie.
It's Garfield.
I'm here for it.
So yeah, I saw that movie too. Not very good. All right. Man. Oh, I also saw Despicable Me 4, and also not very good.
Do you guys have that pass, or you could just pay like $20 a month and you can go whenever?
I do not have a movie pass. No, that is back though. I don't have a movie pass.
I saw Despicable Me 4.
Did you enjoy it? It's not like it's not bad, but
no, I saw it. Didn't like it. My kid liked it, and that's all that matters.
It's just not as good as the others. And I think the flaw was not enough minions this time around.
Maybe that's why I liked it. I hate the minions.
Oh, really? Oh, I love the minions. Yeah, they're
so annoying.
But it's almost made $900 million already.
Yeah,
so success.
I did see Good Girl's Guide to Murder.
Oh, I watched like the first 2 episodes. Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I recommend it. Check it out.
That's right.
Oh, I did watch The Gentleman, the series.
Oh, yes.
Like a few weeks ago. I really enjoyed it. It took me on a Guy Ritchie binge. I watched Snatched. I watched The Gentleman. I watched Rock and Rolla.
Look at you. Look at you.
I love Guy Ritchie movies. I was like, this is what I've been looking for. Like, there was a vibe that I was looking for of like cool music and like cool, gangster montages and that kind of thing. And I was like, this has scratched an itch. I love Guy Ritchie, and The Gentleman is pretty fucking good. Both the series and the movie.
There you go. I would.
What's better, the series or the movie?
Yeah. Would you enjoy more? Would you say just watch the movie? Because that's what my take was, and I watched both. I was like, just watch the movie. Like,
no, I mean, I think they're both really good, and so it's just the baseline premise of growing weed on, nobility and their giant land. That's the only kind of through line through any of it. You want long form or you want short form, or if you like both, you like choose. They're equally good. I just love how cool everyone is in all the Guy Ritchie movies. You know, it's just like, don't fuck with me, and I can put up this pretense of being civilized and being a gentleman, but don't fuck with me because I can turn it off in a second. I'm like, God, I wish I had that. I wish I was so cool and unfuckable.
Lock, stock,
Wait,
and snatch.
unwhatable?
Made
Oh my
Jason
god!
Statham.
Yeah, she did say
Yeah,
that. She did say that.
unfuckable. Yeah,
Unfuckwithable.
Oh yeah,
No,
that's more like
I'm gonna go with both.
Unwithable is better.
Unfuckable and
Unfuckable.
unfuckwithable. I want to be both.
You want to be
Like,
both.
you don't want to fuck with me either way.
Got it.
You don't
That's
want
not
to
how we took the
tussle
other
with
one.
Laura.
Okay. Got it. The Umbrella Academy came out, the final season.
Oh, I saw that
Watched
too.
that one.
Oh,
Enjoyed that. Yeah, enjoyed that one. It was good. I thought it was a pretty good season. And then if you like Rick and Morty, Solar Opposites are out on Hulu. Season 5 just dropped. Check out Solar Opposites on Hulu.
Oh, and yesterday the Rick and Morty anime came out.
That's right. The Rick and Morty
which is
anime
available
came out.
today on Max. HBO Max.
That's right. That is correct. A lot of stuff coming out.
Y'all are
for
giving
people
me a
to
headache.
check out. And then yeah, that's all I got. Anybody else got anything else before we go?
It's my second to last week before I'm gone.
Wait a second. Wait, you're gone. Where are you going?
You said, oh, I said, no, you know this. I'm going to school.
I know. You're going back to school. Education.
Mhm.
Laura, though, I forgot Ozempic update
yes.
and so forth. What do you got?
Ozempic update. Here's my Ozempic update. So I have lost 22 pounds
Woo,
total.
yay.
And but there's big drama in the compounding pharmacy community. So there are third-party compound pharmacies that have been able to make these drugs, Ozempic and Zepbound, off-label, like basically generic versions, because the name brand versions have been in such short supply that the FDA basically is like, have at, because this is a needed drug. Right?
Is it?
Right. So yes. Because it's a diabetes medication, and there are a lot of people in the United States that absolutely need it. So they gave all these pharmacies the green light in order to produce it because of the shortage. So this week, Eli Lilly, the producer of Zepbound, which is what I take, the generic version, they have announced their shortage is over. And they've started to send cease and desist letters to all of these.
Oh my God! So they were gonna raise the prices. They were gonna gouge the prices, and now the other people are selling it. Oh my God! How shady and very pharmaceutical.
How very pharmaceutical, exactly. It is 100% within their rights to do so because they hold the patent. And if they have lifted their shortage, but here's the thing: they state, no, the shortage is over. It's available. But it might still be hard to find. That's what Eli Lilly is saying. And so the FDA hasn't officially taken them off the shortage list yet. So everyone in the community is fucking freaking out because they're like, they're going to take this off, which they will, once they're able to ramp up production and kind of normalize supply. And they're freaking the fuck out because they are going to have to pay the name brand price, which is like $1,300.
No. Okay. So do you remember a few years ago, something happened to Twitter where people could like log into other people's accounts, and someone went onto the Eli Lilly account and was like, now we're going to sell diabetes medication for $5 or $10. And they were forced to lower the price for a while. That was freaking good. Oh my God. The pharmaceutical companies like murder people.
That's
literally,
hilarious.
financially and physically murder people.
They're awful. It's true.
Isn't like an EpiPen like $200?
I don't know.
Maybe without insurance.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but health insurance is like impossible. It's like, if you have, in California, we're lucky because we have it, but it's expensive if you don't have employer-sponsored insurance. You can't just get medical. You have to basically be me and have no money. It's just like in other states, they only have one insurance company. California and Florida, we're just lucky. It's so fucked up the way the pharmaceutical companies are. It is. I hate the pharmaceutical companies so fucking much. Don't get me started on that shit.
It is. It's awful. And so I was going to say that it is a whole thing about like people are freaking like trying to stockpile and things like that. And a lot of people are talking to now moving to like the gray market, which is the version that was featured on the South Park episode, which is buy the research peptides, not labeled for human consumption, and do it yourself at home. And it's just a whole clusterfuck that I'm watching and being like, I don't know what's going to happen. I've been fat before. I'll be fat. I'm still fat, but I've been fatter before. I'll be fatter again.
22 pounds, though. That's well done. Well done.
I am very pleased. I just hit 22 pounds on Monday. And then today, for whatever reason, I'm eating everything in sight. I don't know why. But hey, that's the thing. It ebbs and flows, right?
Is it okay? Wait, 2 questions. One, if you stop taking it, will you gain the weight back too? Is it because like Vyvanse, I'll become tolerant to it, right? Are those two things happening?
Same thing. You will become tolerant to it after a while. The dosage reduces in efficacy, so you have to up dosage in order to maintain the same effects. Will you gain all the weight back? Me personally, if I stopped right now, probably, because I have made no real lifestyle changes. Mm-hmm. It's just I'm naturally inclined to eat less because of this medication. And so that's why I have lost weight. I serve myself half portions and I'm perfectly happy with it. Whereas if you were to take me off these medications, I don't think So in other words, I need to get my shit together before they cut it off. And I need to start exercising and actually dieting.
That shit makes me so mad. I don't even like
exercising and dieting?
No, yes, that too, actually.
Agreed. It also makes me
you guys
angry.
Remember when Twitter got hacked, but they changed the rules. Elon Musk first took over, and like you can pay $5 to get an account, and someone hacked into the Eli Lilly's account and said, we're gonna sell diabetes medication for like whatever now. And they were forced to sell it for super cheap after that. Not forced, but they were like, okay, I guess we should.
No, I think I was just talking about this with somebody that like there was some agreement made with the government and Eli Lilly or whoever the insulin production was like, listen, you can either choose to sell this at a more affordable price or we can release your patent and let anyone else make it. And they were like, oh, okay, well, we'll just sell it for cheaper.
Didn't Gavin Newsom recently he approved a patent just for California that's like a generic brand. So now diabetes medication in California is $25.
Don't know. He's a piece of shit. Nobody cares.
Yeah, I think he did that. He also
pretty cool.
He's in the lower taxes to 1% for everyone. Yeah.
Yay. I don't care. I don't care if the rich leave. Fuck them.
Well, Marie's making stuff up, so I am too.
No, they did that.
No, what I was gonna say is there's a website called costplusdrugs.com.
Ah, yes, owned by Mark Cuban.
Started.
That's right.
You can get Mark Cuban, the minority owner of the Dallas Mavericks. He's transparent about all the drug prices. They're all generics, but for example, you were talking about diabetes medication. I don't know any of this stuff or need any of it, but there's one on here. It's generic for Glumetza, which is a diabetic tablet, I guess. The pharmaceutical industry and hospitals will charge, or pharmacies will charge you $1,400 for a pill. That's 30 days worth of pills. Is what it's
$30 a pill?
No, 30 days worth of pills for $1,400, right?
Oh my Lord Jesus!
But on this website, the generic one you can get for $8.90 for 30 pills.
Oh, that's not too bad.
No shit. You're saving $1,400.
That's a
good call.
Shut up. Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking because I pay like I'll pay out of pocket for certain things like minoxidil. It's like $18 all the time. Look, okay, Governor Newsom.
You're out of order.
Governor Newsom announces $30 insulin through CalRx. Yeah. So that's cool.
What medication are you on?
Okay. Do you have time?
Oh my God.
Okay. in the morning.
What's your most expensive one? What's your most expensive?
I get all my meds for free because I have Medi-Cal.
Oh. So I pay for them. Got it.
I paid for them
exactly.
too. I paid for them. I paid for my own salary because I worked for the state, so I'd work and then pay taxes and pay myself.
How many pills are you on every day?
Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay. One. Wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
This is daily?
Yes,
daily.
Yes, daily. My medicine cabinet is I can't even use my medicine cabinet. I have to use a full cabinet in my kitchen. Do
you have like a neon light above it that says Rite Aid or Walgreens?
I could imagine that you're counting like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but it's really just Barney, Fred, Wilma, Dinah. You're just taking,
oh my God, those are so good.
Vitamins.
Maybe I'll get some of those too and add it to my little pill thingy.
FSA savings account.
This is well, there you go. So Ozempic update. All right. Well, hopefully you keep getting it. So
we'll see. I'll pay the $5.50 out of pocket.
That drug has not hit
$5.50.
No, it has not because no, not $5.50, $550 with a savings card. That's as low as that drug. But no, they haven't hit cost plus because it hasn't hit generic, and it won't for another like fucking 15 years.
That's so stupid.
I mean, I got the money if I'll make the money. Look, I'll make the money.
The pharmaceutical companies have basically started.
I will happily pay $550 a month to be hot. Tell me you wouldn't do it. Tell me you wouldn't spend $550 a month to look hot.
I would rather just work out.
Yeah, I'd rather just.
So I don't know.
Or force myself to eat or become bulimic or do something. But I don't have that kind of money.
Overrated. It doesn't really make you lose weight. It keeps you. It maintains you.
Good idea.
It's not the same.
All right.
Sure, it is the same. You lay there on the table, they suck it out, and you go home thin.
General
you don't exercise.
You can't do that once a month.
And they'll give that back to you in
multiple places.
It just goes
it
once.
Just doesn't work.
And then you can put it in your ass.
Yeah, you can exactly. BBL. You can inject it in your ass. Yeah.
You know what I want to do? My upper lip is disappearing. I want.
Oh, don't do lip fillers.
Don't do anything.
No, because you can get Juvederm. You can get Juvederm, and it's like a little tiny itty bitty bit.
Like
but I don't have I don't have that much kind of money. But yeah. So no, we should not. I hate the pharmaceutical companies. They have created a drug epidemic amongst people who took what's that shit that starts with an F. Basically, it's an epidemic. People don't.
Fentanyl?
Yes, that. And people, there's a huge epidemic. It's like a thing. They had to create a thing that brought people back to life. Narconazon or something like that. That's fucked up. Instead of just solving the problem, instead of solving the problem, they make up another drug. It's like, oh well, this one will bring them back to life if they take too much of this one. It's like, just fucking get rid of it. Fucking stop allowing this shit to happen. It's so they run the fucking country. You think it's guns, you think it's like the government, you think it's billionaires or coal or whatever. No, it's the pharmaceutical companies. They're so fucked
all
up.
Of them, but also the pharmaceutical companies. They're part of the conglomerate, right?
But they're the number one. They are the
people
number
with
one.
Money run it.
Oh, and landlords.
You can save $80 on Narcan if you go to costplusdrugs.com.
Yes, Mark Cuban.
Nice.
You can buy it there. $81 off.
Wait, how much is it?
Pharmacy.
It's originally $143 if you get it through the pharmacy. If you get it through this website, $61.
Nice.
There you go.
Yeah,
I might just get it just to have it.
Then you can buy more drugs.
Good to have on standby.
So before we go, Disney had,
right?
I think so.
Oh,
yeah.
D23. Is that what you're talking
Disney
about?
had D23, which is their version of Comic-Con. Disney has their own show. They do. So I'll just run through some quick things that you may not know are coming to your theater soon. Zootopia Part 2. Tron Ares, which is the sequel to Tron, the last one. Snow White next March, live action. Frozen 3 and 4 were announced, and possibly 5. Incredibles Part 3.
That's a lot of Frozen.
Mm-hmm. Toy Story 5.
Oh my God.
Too much Toy Story.
Lilo and Stitch live action.
Stitch looks good.
Mandalorian and Grogu, the movie.
Nothing original. Nothing original.
The Skeleton Crew, new Star Wars show coming December 3rd to Disney Plus.
That's kind of weird to me. It's like they're all a bunch of kids.
Yeah, like teenagers, yeah.
Yeah.
Avatar, Fire and Ash, Avatar 3.
Lord Jesus.
Just real quick about the Skeleton Crew. The trailer they showed threw me for a loop because that's nothing I've ever seen in Star Wars ever.
You
You know how it
all
looks like
the,
they live in the suburbs.
Yeah.
That is so weird to me because nothing in any Star Wars movie, they all look like they live primitive lives. Like nothing ever evolves. All of a sudden, they're living in the suburbs. I'm like, this is kind of weird.
Well, you got to change
Continue.
Star Wars up. You got to change Star Wars. Monster Jam, the movie, based on monster trucks.
That's a Rock movie, Dwayne Johnson.
Starring The Rock.
That sounds dumb.
And they announced another movie called Hoppers, which is a new Pixar movie coming out. That's pretty much what they gave us. And they announced Disneyland will be getting 4 new rides. So if you go to Disneyland, you get 2 new Marvel rides at the Avengers campus. You get a Coco ride from Coco the movie, based on kind of similar to the Haunted Mansion, but it's about Dias de los Muertos.
That's
and the Avatar ride is coming to California Adventures because it is the #1 ride at Disney World. So they're gonna bring it to California. So there you go.
Is Avatar really that popular though?
I heard from people that have been there, it's the best ride there.
What does it do?
Well, the ride itself, but they could totally rename the ride and give it another theme. But I'm just saying the movies themselves, are Avatar really that popular?
Well, they both made over $1 billion, so I assume they're popular.
Who has seen it more than once?
I've only seen one once.
I've never seen any of them.
I saw part 1 in the theater twice. I saw part 2 once.
So part 1 once in the theater, because you had to see it in the theater. It was just incredible. The visuals were
same
incredible.
as part 2. Yeah, part 2 is the same thing.
But I didn't care to see it again. There's nothing about the story that made me go, I need to see this again. It's exciting. I never saw part 2. I didn't really care for The Way of the Water.
Anyway, that's what we got for you. So Marie's last show is next week. Last show for a while. It'll be just 3 for quite a while. But, there's always school breaks and whatever else. So, hey. All right, well, that's it for us. For Marie.
Bye.
For Carlos.
Bye-bye.
For Laura.
Goodbye.
And I'm Lafayette. We'll catch you next week on Nerds Talking, the podcast.